Hey everybody, welcome to the Double Stuff Podcast, where we're double the hosts, double the topics, and double the fun. I'm Dan.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Charity.
I'm Alan.
And as you probably know, on this season, we have been revisiting season 1 episodes. Today, we are taking a look back at the episode titled Gluten-Free Podcast. Let's take a listen.
Oh, this is our gluten-free podcast, guys.
That's exactly true. So we did decide to go ahead and talk about food and I guess like diets. The funniest thing that I do, and I know I look like the most ridiculous human being on the planet, but I will see a bag of chips and the flavor sounds interesting. So I will take the bag and I will turn it over and I will look at the ingredients, which means to a passerby, I am looking at the nutritional facts of a bag of chips. Which is just like, no.
Yeah, I never used to look at the nutrition labels like you said, but goodness, they put sugar in everything.
It's in everything.
It is, and it's such large amounts.
And even in stuff that says low sugar, it's like instead of 40 grams or whatever, it's 32.
Or if it's sugar-free, it's like we've swapped out sugar for 7 different chemicals. The awareness of what we're putting into our bodies is much more.
We're much more conscious of it now.
There you go.
And of course we decided to talk about this thing, so I had to open the episode and be like, I'm vegan. It's like, that's the joke. It's like vegans will always tell you, if somebody's a vegan, they'll tell you. And it's just like, but that's not like, it's interesting because that's not really what I found to be the case. What I found to be the case most often is I will tell people that I'm vegan and they're curious about it. They're really curious about like the reasons why.
Because they're hearing about
how you
it.
get stuff like that. And they're hearing about it from a lot of things, which is not the case when we went like vegetarian.
And yes, indeed, I still do look at the bag of chips on the back to see what's in it, and it always makes me a little sad.
It's nice to know nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed in that regard. So if you want to listen to that episode and other episodes from season 1, go ahead and visit our website, doublestuffpod.com. Click on the podcast link. You can see a whole playlist of the episodes that we have there. So I guess we're back to talking about food again.
Yay. That's always a good topic.
Absolutely. After a year of spending our time inside, picking out, if for a better term, has anybody's, diets changed since the last time we talked about this?
No one's gained weight.
It's an audio podcast, so it's like, oh, you sound heavier.
You sound fat. You sound huge. What did you do?
Well, just as an update, I believe that we talked in that episode about you giving me a suggestion for a type of tofu press, or you talked about a tofu press. And then I reached out to you and said, well, what is it? Because you do tofu presses in Amazon, and there's a slew of them, of all kinds of different shapes and forms. And so I don't know if we want to, is the Tommy Smitherton brand? Is it the Smitherton brand of
Smitherton
tofu?
brand sounds good, yeah. He's branching out.
Yes, he is. Very entrepreneurial. The one thing that I found, and I do use it, and I like it, but it still does not, it doesn't suffice for that last bit of just squeeze it, So you can put it on, it comes with 3 different settings that's pressure sensitive, so it's supposed to be over time, and it's recommended that you're supposed to press it over the course of an hour to get all the liquid out of the block of tofu. I don't have time to
I don't
wait
do that.
Yeah, who does that?
I go for the 3rd level
I go
right away, and it's like
third.
20 minutes. I pour it out a couple of times, and then that's good to go.
That's exactly what I do. But we do still use a lot of tofu. I shouldn't say that. We use about 2 blocks of tofu a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yep,
Is that average?
For us, it is, and it's just a meat replacement. So we'll use it for stir fry. We'll use it for yellow curry. Anything with a sort of, I guess, Asian-inspired dinner. For me, it's going to be rice. Instead of having
Like, was it
egg noodles or something?
Yeah.
You're making me hungry.
Oh man!
I was just saying, it's past lunchtime.
And at the time of recording, I haven't eaten anything, so another empty stomach podcast to go with gluten-free.
But I prefer fried tofu. I mean, I know that's probably taking away a lot of the advantages of eating tofu, but I like it to have a bit of a bite to it. So tofu on its own, every once in a while in a miso soup.
Yeah.
But I don't like soft tofu.
Yeah, so tofu on its own is kind of if you do something with it, like marinate it, or apparently freezing it, you can freeze it, and then you, like, after you press it, I think, you, like, press it, freeze it, bring it back out. It's supposed to add, like, another texture to it. I haven't tried it myself. I haven't been able to figure it out. But
That doesn't sound too far-fetched, because freezers, once you freeze something, you thaw it out, it is never the same as
Can
it
you
was.
freeze it beforehand? Because I got tofu in the freezer that I haven't used yet.
I don't know. You might be able to freeze it beforehand. You know what? It's worth a try.
Find it out quickly.
If not, it can be used as a weapon.
Death by tofu.
And I don't.
Take this, Mr. Smitherton.
Oh, now he's going to be a victim of violence.
Well, you said you wanted to be in a food fight last episode.
That's
Well,
true.
yeah, pie, not
tofu.
Not
sorry,
frozen
sorry.
fight. Frozen
fight.
tofu.
If I'm going to get a pie in the face, it better be like full fat,
That's right.
sugar induced. I don't want no healthy pie fight. What are you talking about?
I want to enjoy it.
Well, I don't know if I talked about this last year when we were talking about food, but I do eat a lot of vegan or vegetarian meals. I sort of call myself a weekend carnivore because I haven't switched completely yet. And it's sort of a hassle. Like, if I'm going to hang out with friends and we're going to go out to dinner or something, unless we go to a place that specifically offers a certain option, it's not necessarily there. So, which isn't a big deal for me, but I do eat more vegan options. I am trying tofu for the first time this week. I just bought some, but normally I have like the soy meat substitute, or there's a lot of, there's like these chicken nuggets I like that's made from corn. That's really good. So branching out a little bit more. So it's more like 70-30 for me, maybe 80-20, I guess. So.
Which was more than, because I think when we recorded
I was
this
just starting.
you had expressed that you were thinking about
Yeah, so lockdown, oddly enough, is sort of when I had started. It actually had nothing to do with COVID. It was just that time where I was just like, okay, I'm going to try it. And so I've kept up with it for the most part.
That's good. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, we've kind of gone the opposite direction in a little way, because during all this time, it's, especially where we were living, where it was a lot more busy and stuff like that, we had a hard time just always getting out to the store, trying to limit that. So we would order takeout and stuff like that. And if you notice, takeout is hard to get without cheese half the time. So occasionally we would have like a little splurge or something like that. But yeah, mostly it's about the same as it was. I haven't changed very much at all, I'm afraid.
So where do you get your takeout from for vegan stuff?
Well, you mean here or just in
wherever,
general? I mean,
I mean-
some places have like Chipotle. You can get
that's true. I've had that.
vegan food. Freddy's, the same thing. You can get like a burger.
Freddy's?
Yeah, I mean they're a veggie burger. You can
I
get
didn't
without
even
the
know they
sauce
had
and
a
stuff
veggie
like
burger.
that. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Burger King as well.
I
You
didn't
can get it
know
without the mayo.
Burger King
so.
has one? Okay.
Burger
well,
King's got
I
the
stopped
Impossible
eating fast
Burger,
food a
and
while
it's
ago.
bombing.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Okay.
I still haven't tried it.
So good.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. What about you,
I
Sarah?
stopped doing fast food for a while, but now you're making me want to go back.
Oh, I mean, no, fast food's terrible. Don't eat it. It's
Okay,
terrible.
don't follow
Absolutely.
your example.
Nope.
In terms of I think I've just cut down. I haven't really done like a diet. I think I've just done my best to cut down on sugar, or if I do, admittedly, I don't think I'm as rigid as you guys are with some of your things, but I at least try to cut down on sugar and bread. Those are the main things.
Yeah.
I have done more salads, and I do what we call a harmonized salad, because when you go to the restaurant or go, for salad, it's like lettuce with an occasional tomato and maybe like a little bit of oil, but.
Ours is more salad bar style. So
Yeah, it
you've
is more
got
salad bar.
olives and, seeds and stuff.
Like
and you've
avocados.
got, boiled eggs and avocado, tomato, celery, whatever.
Sometimes meat, like a cut up chicken or something, some kind of meat, something.
Yeah.
And at least.
So instead of it being sort of a side or a complement to a meal, it's the meal.
It's the
It's the main
meal.
course.
Yes. I love that.
And that fills me up a lot more than, like I said at the early ones, like, you get a fork, go out to the front yard and start grazing on grass. Yeah. But I will have to say, we do need to talk a little bit about actual gluten-free stuff. And the reason why I say that, I mean, yes, that's the topic of the episode, but in our first episode about Gluten-Free podcast, somebody on the YouTube page listened and commented, hey, you guys said it was a gluten-free podcast, podcast, you didn't mention anything gluten related.
We did?
We made all the celiacs mad.
Probably because we don't know what that means. We just heard that term.
So I think that was why, and I like the sound of it. So we actually had someone guy call us out that we had nothing gluten-free in our episode.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
So we actually got to talk about gluten-related something.
Well, and that was at the beginning.
Yeah.
We were trying to do it like Who's Line? And, Drew Carey always did that beginning line that was something funny.
Yeah.
And so I think our chosen line for the episode was the Gluten-Free podcast, but it had nothing really
I mean,
to
to
do
be
with it.
fair, the podcast itself had no gluten in it.
Yeah.
So I don't think we were
true.
inaccurate
You didn't
for
lie.
it.
So
Yeah.
we're not- yes, I am going with that 100%. We never claimed.
That's right.
Exactly.
to be
Anybody can listen to our podcast.
You can listen to it. You can
Anybody
ingest
can.
the podcast
That's right.
if you want to. You'd be fine.
Yeah.
No gluten in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Enjoy it.
You can take it in bite-sized chunks, or you can just
Yeah.
have it all in at once. That's
That's
how
right.
you binge.
I honestly I mean, obviously people with celiac disease or whatever it is, like they can't have gluten, right? But I never got why there was always gluten-free is also vegan. Like they're the same thing. I guess
I think they were
some-
just lumping any sort
I
of
think they
health
did.
or dietary restrictions into one bubble.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, because we were at Chipotle one time, and the person in front of me was like, "Oh, gluten-free." So they were like, "Okay." So they started getting like new spoon. I mean, they get you new utensils for everything that the person wanted. They're like, "I want, fajita veggies." They go get a different set of tongs and like brand it out and stuff like that. And I'm like, "Well,
That's pretty
you don't do
accommodating.
that for me." You know what I mean? But I'll tell them that I just ordered food and it's fine, which is good. But I was just like, it took forever to go through
They
it.
do that with dairy free because I went to get ice cream with a friend one time, and I didn't grow up having a problem with dairy, but like in my mid-20s, my body was like, we don't like this anymore. So in getting ice cream, some of the dairy-free options are more like coconut milk based. And so, they'll ask you like, is this just a dietary preference or is this like a health preference? And if it's a health preference, then they'll get me and my friend went to get the rolled ice cream, where they make it all cute and stuff. And so if it's a health preference, they'll get new utensils, like you were saying, and they'll mix the ice cream in a different container and stuff. So I think restaurants and places are being more accommodating for people that either have a dietary restriction or just a health problem,
And that makes a lot of sense. I mean, the health-wise, anyway, you don't want somebody getting sick and coming back or anything like that.
Problem.
But I always, I heard about people like one person tried to sue Burger King because they make their Impossible patties on the same thing as the regular burgers, and so it's not technically vegan. And I'm like, get out of here with all that nonsense. I was like, if you don't want your food to touch other food, eat at home. Make your own food.
Yeah, he said the same thing in the first episode.
I did say the same thing in the first episode. It's the same soapbox, and I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, that really bothers you.
It does. It gives people like me a bad name.
It's also fast food too. Like I wouldn't have, not that fast food chains are bad, but like I wouldn't have as high a standard at fast food as I would at a 5-star. Like 5-star, I know they're going to take care of stuff. Yeah. If you're just flipping burgers in the back, something's going to touch. You have like a high school kid flipping burgers, they're not going to be
like, this side is for.
I was coming back from a production last week or something, and I was sharing the car with another producer, and we decided to go through McDonald's, and so we did a multiple order. I messed this woman's day up, and she was so mad at me, and I'm like, no, that's not what we were. And she was so mad at the driver. I was like, okay, next time if we're ever doing this, we're going inside.
Yeah, no, we should do that as a family. If you're going to have a big order, don't do the drive-thru.
And so that was on me.
Yeah.
But she was taking it out personally on me, and I'm like, what? Listen.
She had probably just got a real complicated order right before, and you were the last straw. She's like, I'm not doing it. She quit her job, like she was done.
Sorry, lady.
It's all your fault, Alan.
Sorry, McDonald's.
Sorry, McDonald's drive-thru lady.
Well, the thing is about the gluten-free stuff, it's found in things that we always eat because it's really big in wheat. So most breads have it. Yeah. Apparently, it's in beer. So for all the beer drinkers, sorry. I don't know. Is there such thing as gluten-free alcohol?
Yeah, there is.
I'm sure
there is.
As a person that don't drink, I don't know anything
I do not
about
know
that.
what it tastes like because I won't drink that. But
yeah, well, and that's the thing with like me, like that's why I don't really stick to a diet. I just cut down.
Yeah.
Because there are some things that I do like. I mean, I'm not, so in moderation, especially the fact that thankfully, I don't have an allergy to anything or my body doesn't respond that bad to certain foods. So like I said, it's just a fact of me just cutting down and exercising.
Well, the thing that I heard about when people were first starting to do gluten-free diets and stuff, a lot of people that I personally know, it was like they had been sick for a while and they didn't know why.
They had no idea.
Yeah, and when people were starting to offer gluten-free stuff, they're like, oh, this is the thing that has been bothering me for years, and I didn't know it. I didn't know I was feeling sick because of gluten, and so a lot of people switched. Yeah,
especially like with kids, like they'll go through a plethora of different tests, and they all come back negative, and they don't know what's going on. And then sometimes it's just a change of the diet. Unfortunately, especially with kids, it really labels you as an outsider too when you have to have a special diet. You know.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I think it all depends on how you deal with it, because I think I mentioned this also in season 1 that we, you know, they might have a special situation, but I think they almost make it like some kind of, you know, highfalutin, you know, obligation, like, you know, you owe me this, you had better do this, because they treat it like
that's how
like
you have to educate your
thing.
kids correctly if they have an allergy, though.
Yeah.
To not.
I've never known the kids to be a problem.
Well,
Sometimes it's the parents.
It's more the parents, but
It's the parents, but
the kids can be
it's out of fear. I mean, I mean, good grief! You just want your kid to be healthy and normal, and and then you got all these other kids throwing peanuts at them.
It's a big problem. Every time you step out the door, it's like you might get hit with a peanut.
Sorry, tree nut allergy people.
We have rain, snow, sleet, hail, peanuts.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Looking outside, there's shells falling everywhere.
It's on a news report. It's like, well, now it's peanut season out there, so all you peanut allergy people better watch out.
That would be terrible.
So a big part of like eating is something else you mentioned is like exercise, and I mentioned this in the last episode, but I just got Box VR, which is a fitness-based video game that's like it's all meant to, you know, you go to the beat, you do a certain amount of minutes, and it speeds it up and slows it down and gets you moving, really get your heart rate going. But other than that, and the other video games that I play that are all very specifically fitness-based, I don't really like a lot of physical fitness for its sake. Like I like to go out and hike, but I don't like to go out and take like a really vigorous run or walk or anything like that.
You like it more for entertainment versus exercise.
I like to be tricked into doing fitness. Is what it is.
I'm the same way. I enjoy the outdoors. I enjoy lawn care. I think we've talked about that. I think we had an episode called Lawn Care.
What? Are you sure?
And guess what? I mowed my lawn today.
Which you can listen to at doublestuffpod.com.
Yeah, that's right. So I got my steps in. But yeah, I'm the same way. Like I enjoy going fishing and like walking the shore. I'm a shore fisherman. But as far as and we have a family membership to the Y. We got it because both of my girls are in dance at the Y, and we use it in the summertime a lot because the water park's amazing. And it's a lot of fun, but going there, no interest, none. And you know, my wife and I, we've talked about we really gotta go and we gotta walk the track. Not gonna happen.
Never.
See, I didn't used to like exercising. I used to hate it. Hate it so much. But probably right after graduating from college, I started doing it more, and now I actually like it. I mean, it's still not like I can't wait to just leap out of bed and start getting on the elliptical, but I do get...
Do you have an elliptical?
Oh, I go to the Y.
Okay.
I'm not one to work out at home because home is for rest. And so I have no motivation to work out at home.
So lockdown sucked, basically.
Lockdown was terrible. So I mean, those are the times I actually did just go outside and walk. And so I actually prefer doing that because like I said, at home I have no motivation to do anything.
Lots of people did. People were out walking, flying kites. People were taking the dog out for a walk 12 times a day. The dog's like,
the dog was in better shape.
Loving it.
Like
and then now that everybody's back, they're like, what about the walks? You stay there for 19 hours.
But I like doing the elliptical. I also tap dance, which I think dancing is the best workout. You definitely get the cardio up when you're tap dancing. So I enjoy doing that. But Yeah, I don't know if I could do the video game thing. I don't know. I guess it wouldn't hurt to try to see, but you know, I
think
was
you'd be surprised. I think you'd eventually get
so?
into it. Yeah.
I mean, if you've never done a VR experience, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I guess
it's that good. It's that good.
It's that good. So, well, if that's the case, since you guys are all, I expect by like season 7, you guys need to be totally buff. You know,
Look at Dan's face. He's like,
Got my thumbs
It's
going.
gonna be Dan, and I'm just still gonna be the grumpy old man. I'm not doing it. Yeah, that's right.
Dan's gonna have the most ripped thumbs.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Some thumb wars, I got that covered. No,
His thumb's gonna have 6 packs.
You know, I've had multiple Y memberships before, and I think the most I ever got out of them is logging into my account every month and watching the money leave. That was it. I went there. I think I went there swimming like twice, and I was like, that was fun. I'm done with that. Yeah.
You gotta find something you like. You could either find a class or find a certain workout, or get a trainer that can help mix it up. The trainer is actually very helpful because you don't have to think; you just have to do what you're told. Because I used to make my own workouts and do research and stuff. After a while, I'm like, I'm tired of this. But I have a trainer who tells me what to do, and I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier.
See, I get as much as I like working out, that's when I'm at my most self-conscious, my most vulnerable when I'm working out, because I feel like everybody's looking at me.
Trust me, they're all looking at the mirror. I look at guys every day at the gym, and they're either taking selfies or posting for their influencer group or whatever, and they're looking in the mirror.
I go for the opposite reason. I go to relax. So when
you go to the Y to relax.
Yeah.
You're
He
one
relaxes
of those.
while his girls are dancing.
Exactly. So or so during the summertime when the water park's open, we'll go, I'll get off work, go get the girls, say, get your swimsuits, let's go to the Y. And then we'll go to the Y, and I think the outdoor stays open till 7, I believe.
Something like
so
that.
It's kind of like an hour, sometimes an hour and a half window. And they're old enough now. They're excellent swimmers. Last year, the only thing that I was worried about was the wave pool. But by the end of the summer,
I like the wave pool.
My girls they understand how to time the waves now, and they're really good. Not only that, but I can remember going to the swimming pool when I was a kid, and I think maybe I saw a lifeguard once. There's lifeguards everywhere at the Y. They're really good about it.
Yeah.
And so what I'll do is, you girls have fun. I'll go to the steam room and I'll go steam, and I'll do that for 15 minutes, and then I go into the kiddie pool that's like 0 entry, and then I just like ease myself into the cool waters afterwards, and then I just float.
You're one of those
I
parents.
just float.
I've seen
yeah.
That is like the oldest manest thing.
I love it.
The water's like 2 feet.
Yeah.
That sounds like my kind of workout.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, it's living.
So I have a request for everybody then. They say to work to get your heart rate up for 30 minutes every day. Our podcast just happens to be about 20 to 25 minutes, which is pretty good. So throw a couple episodes on, get outside, take a walk.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening to this episode. If you want to listen to previous episodes and all the new episodes, go to doublestuffpod.com. You can also join us on social media on Facebook and Instagram at Double Stuff Podcast, or on Twitter at Double Stuff P, and that's the letter P.